Every fly angler I know wants to land large fish. Those photos of me and the large fish I landed, I was able to land those due to one quality key piece of equipment that I always use. It's not the fly rod, it's the fly reel. There are a lot of things to consider in choosing the right fly reel to get the job done for you, to land those big fish. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to talk to you about those so you can make some wise consumer decisions. Stay tuned. Hi, welcome back. Michael Gorman here. I want to talk to you about fly reels and the wise selection of the reel that will get the job done for you, especially when it comes to landing big fish. So I'm going to talk about a variety of topics as it pertains to fly reels, helping you make a good choice. So I'm going to talk about the capacity of the reel. I'm going to talk about the drag system, brand name, and what it might cost you. When you select a fly reel, know that you're going to look at various sizes. For instance, here I have the same brand name and model of reel in 3 different sizes. In some cases, you can find 4 or 5 different sizes. Same brand name, same model. So how do you know which size is right for you? In making that determination, you need to know what fly line you're going to cast on your rod. That's discovered by looking at the rod itself to see what line it is matched to. And then how much backing or braided Dacron you're going to put behind the fly line. That's your insurance policy, very important. In general, if you're going to be a trout angler, 50 yards of braided Dacron backing behind your fly line is good insurance. If you're going after bigger fish, let's say salmon and steelhead, I want a minimum of 100 yards on there. Saltwater fly anglers, you may need 2 or 250 yards. Anyway, once that determination has been made as to what line and how much backing you need, then by looking at a capacity chart, as you see here, you can make a determination of which fly reel size is going to suit your needs. I advise you to leave a little bit of cushion. Get a reel that is a little bit too big rather than one that is a little bit too small. So one with a little excess capacity you will definitely find useful. Now, as for the other things, a very, very important consideration is the drag system. There are 2 general types of drags, the most popular ones. Know that there are other drag designs other than the ones I'm mentioning, but I'm going to talk about the 2 most popular. One is the spring and pawl drag. Inexpensive reels, for the most part, have click and pawl drags. They're not complicated. The difficulty that you'll have with large fish is you may not offer enough resistance in the drag system to slow down and tire that big fish. That's why I'm asking you to consider, and why I use, as you saw in the introductory photos, those big fish that I landed. It was because of the nice smooth drag in the fly reel. You gotta have a good drag. So besides the click and pawl, the one I would suggest to you, the most popular design out there that gets the job done against big fish, is the disc drag reel. There are a lot of brand names, a lot of reels out there with disc drags. The one thing that I need from my drag is dependability, primarily when it gets wet. Here in the Pacific Northwest, it isn't uncommon for me to be fishing in the rain. And there are times my reel gets dunked. I'm playing a fish and I'm trying to get a photo and I'm holding the rod, trying to hold the fish, my reel can get wet. Okay? I need to know that my drag when I hook another big fish will be dependable at releasing line at high speeds, even though the drag system is wet. some drag systems do not perform. So if you buy a premium flywheel, let's say one over $100, even though you may not have to spend that much, you need to know that you have recourse if the drag system doesn't perform by either returning it to the manufacturer or the retailer from whom you bought it so they can make it right. So dependability. It'll come into play when your reel gets wet, and it will get wet sooner or later. Know about that. As far as brand names, lots of good ones to choose from. I'm not going to give you any specific recommendations, but with a little search by looking at what retailers sell, especially specialty stores like fly shops, okay, you'll come to know what reputable brand names are. I would say you're going to have to spend at least $40. $100 is better, but not everybody can afford that, especially if you're just getting into fly fishing and you're on a budget. Okay? But $40 probably at the low end. Stick to a reputable brand name. Really important. And again, know what kind of guarantee that you will have that that reel will perform even when it gets wet. So, with these things in mind, you can be a wise consumer, especially when it comes to playing a big fish on a quality fly reel that you're going to select. In addition to this information, if you want to see more, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, Michael Gorman Fly Fishing, all one word. And when you go fishing, hope you land that big fish. And remember, keep your fly in the water. Have a fly fishing question? Go to GormanFlyFishing.com. At the bottom of each page on the website is my email address. Contact me via email to ask your question, and I will answer it. Your question may be selected to be answered by a video I create. With your permission, I will reference you in the video by your full name and the city or town in which you live. Wave goodbye, Miracle. Say goodbye, Tiny Cat.